Today we are starting the cybersecurity new batch,
Mm-hmm.
the training for this cybersecurity, and I'll share the introduction and start the induction for it. And going forward, I will be taking all the sessions now. So I will be the only trainer for this particular course.
Okay.
And yeah, so before we start, we'll just have some proper discussion on the requirements and the understandings that how is cybersecurity uh, uh, important and how do we go ahead in this particular area. So regarding this, can you just introduce yourself and tell me a bit about your the background or the field you are connected and what is your further goal on it? Okay,
Right. Yeah, I'm Susmita. I completed my bachelor's in information technology. It was long ago,
right.
and I have no IT experience. And I, hello.
Yeah, yeah. Please go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah. I have worked in medical field as a regulatory affairs. In a, I was in
Mm-hmm.
there for 3.5 years, and I don't know. I wanted to shift to this IT, so I'm just giving a try for the cybersecurity whether I can pull this off. So I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay,
So yeah, this would be my first IT session.
okay. So as you mentioned, some regulatory affairs. So
Mhm.
what does that include? Can you just highlight that?
So I work on the products. I mean, I work for the documentation, like for any, like those are very, I mean, not like high-end products, like small things like a COVID kits, a BP machine, or a diabetic glucose meter, all those things.
Okay, okay.
I work on the documentation part.
Mm-hmm.
If we release the product in a global market, how does the documentation and the registrations with
Mm-hmm.
the distributors and the manufacturers, all those things.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So yeah, so that is good because documentation is one of the important part everywhere.
Right.
Even in cybersecurity, there is a field called as uh, for the audit expert. So
Okay.
who
Yeah.
used to assess all the situations, then they check all the controls whether they are in the place, and then they do the documentation. And many of the technical people are actually failing on that, and
Right.
they are not able to properly document the things. Maybe SOPs are not at that proper things, and sometimes there is compliance issue,
Mm.
so that need to be properly highlighted and documented. So this kind of skill is actually good for going forward in
Adds up
this
here.
particular
Okay.
field. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So I think we are good to go, and I'll introduce myself in the PPT itself. So
Mm-hmm.
let's just have some start in the cybersecurity. Meanwhile, there will be a lot of doubts and other things. So in every session, I request the participants that if you feel any doubt or anything, so please means if it is not understanding or something, so you can just ask at that time. And even if you feel that later on you are not understanding it properly or something, so you can even drop a message or ping later as well. So no
Sure.
issues in that,
Sure.
right?
Thank you. Yep.
Okay. So I'll just start the screen share. Hang on a minute. Uh, is the screen visible now?
Yes.
Okay. So sometime uh, today you are the only one, but we keep open this session for even all the participants. Because once
Okay.
you enroll in here, you can join anytime. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So other old participants may come in between. They can also join. So they are coming also some most of the
Okay.
time. So
Okay.
it is possible that sometime for the explanation, I may take some example or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe sometime it may feel that it is not it is not true. So sometime it may feel it is like random. So don't
Right.
worry.
Right. Right.
You can ask right away that
Okay.
you lost the track from here or something. So we can
Okay.
take it further from there also. Don't worry about that. Our goal is to have the proper understanding and to get ourselves ready for the field of cybersecurity. So for
Okay.
that purpose, we have to understand the concept, but as well as we have to have some, we have to develop some skill also. So skill will
Okay.
be developed when we understand the things and when we start learning something or doing something like a regular practice or as in hands-on experience on something. Okay, so I'll just share the yeah, I'll just open it here. Okay, is that visible as full screen?
Yes. 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 It's visible.
Okay, so the word cyber security is actually dealing with everything which is involving the security and the network and the computer. So going forward, this was the earlier trainer who used to train with me. And for my introduction, my name is Arun Mishra, and I have associated from 15 years. This is 16 year now in the field of technology, and I have been into many companies, and I also have some core experience of the academics. And then from last 4 years, I have been doing cybersecurity training and doing certain freelance projects, assessment, and other parts. I'm AWS solution architect certified from Amazon itself. So these are the different things that I was involved into. So once you are in particular field, so you will also have these kind of certifications. And okay, so most
Okay.
of them are actually sponsored from the respective companies. So that's okay. We can also pursue from our end also, but it is advisable that we may go ahead with the whatever firm we are connected to. So
Okay.
going on to the plan. So this is a tentative weekly plan which is there, and our entire discussion will go around these topics, and these are
Okay.
the minimum requirement which is we should be knowing for cyber security or taking up any job in the field of cyber security. So whenever we want any job or anything, so these are the at least things, and they are very updated ones still as per today's requirement only. So we keep updating the topics as well. So these are the tentative things. We may go some up and down topics also because we have to cover some ground around this. So that is required.
Okay.
So we are into week one. We have introduction, then what is network security, what is network, how does it maintain, and all this, and then we'll ultimately go in deep and understand what is SOC, what is NOC, what is other attributes also. So yeah, so we are good to start with this thing. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
going forward, I just want to know that if I talk about the computer or computer network or other things like that, so how is your experience of understanding how computers are connected, and do you know the terminologies which are associated with the computer networks? So what is your view on this, or what is your experience?
Um, as I said, I did my information technology in bachelor's,
Mm,
so I think I should be familiar with the least terminologies like TCP or IP or those kind of things.
okay.
I should even I need to figure it out whether I can be familiar with those things or not. I haven't taken any IT trainings till now, so yeah.
Okay, fine, that's no problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, so some technical terminologies are available, so it is good then because they will cross the mind and then we'll understand that how exactly it is there. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
let's go ahead now. So definitely when we start with cyber security as a introductory part, there are a lot of theoretical concepts, theories about all this. We
Okay.
will get to know to each of them as we proceed in the course, in the training part. So what is cyber security? That is nothing but the whatever is involved in this protection of computer system, then protection of network, maybe some digital information that is called as data in today's world, and whatever is the practice, TTP, tactics, technology, and process. So all these things should be handled in this particular computer network or a network or digital information. So what practice we are following that defines the cyber security. Now we talk about the very integral part of cyber security is the CIA. So entire goal of any cyber security is to assure this, and our every tool and technology will be assuring these three things. So that is called a CIA triad. So 90% of time when we face any interview, we always have this kind of interview question that what is CIA triad? Can you explain what are these three things? So this is the very first and very general question that may be asked into the interview. So CIA triad is what? It is actually formed by these three important words. They are called as confidentiality, integrity, and the availability. And next thing is about the encryption. So to secure anything, we have to have the encryption. Okay. So we have to start understanding now what is this CIA. Okay, is it is the switch visible? I have switched
Yes.
the screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so CIA is the required triad that we need to understand, and there are certain definitions, certain words which will come. So first thing is we have to understand what is this CIA triad and how do we assure it. So very first thing is coming as confidentiality. So what do you mean by confidentiality? What do you mean by integrity and availability? So there are various aspects of understanding. So can you just um, elaborate on simple terms that what do you understand by this confidentiality? So
Like
let's talk about confidence.
protecting the customer's information,
Hmm.
not to, I mean, there are certain confidential information which cannot be shared, like their personal data.
Okay.
Um, Integrity, it's like, I don't know. So
Okay. We'll
availability.
first go with confidentiality. So
Okay.
whatever you said, it is a part of confidentiality itself. But confidentiality means the particular user, or if any communication is going between two users, or in case of our course, we will now replace these two users with source and destination. And now let us call the source as server and destination as client.
Mm-hmm.
So because in computer we have uh, client and server. So if any information is exchanged between client, between server and server, between client and server, or anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
now in a big network, we call it very generic term, which is called as node. So if
No.
multiple networks, multiple things are connected in a network, which some of them can be a computer, some of them can be a handheld device, some can be just a network device, some can be some kind of IoT or sensor or anything like that. So all those are now replaced by the name of nodes. So we see that there is information flowing in the network from node to node. So now our job is to assure or make sure that whenever there is some communication from server to client or anywhere, then the data which is there, we have to assure that the right node is accessing that or
Okay.
right person is accessing that.
Okay.
That is called as confidentiality.
Okay.
So let's say there is an email. So if we put our right username and password, then I can see my inbox, and I'm confident that this information is not available or shown to anybody else unless my credentials are compromised.
Right. Right.
So
Got it.
that defines our confidentiality. Confidentiality assures that right person is actually accessing the things. So it
Okay.
is called as who. Who is going to access this particular information that is coming under the umbrella of confidentiality. Second thing is about like who can be authorized individuals, maybe entities, and which will prevent any unauthorized access or data breaches. So confidentiality ensures any kind of breaches. Now we'll talk about integrity. So integrity means that it is the further part of confidentiality. Let's say information is now flowing between the nodes, between
Mhm.
server client, between the sources, between the people. But if I take a very simple traditional example of earlier days, so there used to be the letters. So when someone sends the postcard to somebody else, so there is one open postcard. So anyone can read that. Even anyone can write something in that further. So that is not correct way of representing the integrity. Now, what is integrity? That says that whatever is the form of the information, whatever is the information that should not be seen, changed, or even altered by any third person. So if A and B are communicating, we have to make sure that whatever is data is sent by A should only be read or altered or understood by B. No C or third person should be involved in that. So that is defining integrity.
Okay.
So how can we ensure that? Do you can you guess how do I maintain the integrity whenever I try to send the data over computer from one person to another, and I have to maintain the integrity like a WhatsApp chat. So if I am sending a WhatsApp chat to some particular person, so how integrity is to be maintained. So basic idea is no one should other should be able to understand that particular message, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that defines a new terminology which is very important in the case of cybersecurity or any information security field, that is called as in encryption.
Right. Yeah.
So whenever we encrypt the data, we convert into some other form, maybe in technical term we call it cipher text. So whenever I convert my plain text into ciphered text by using some algorithm which will convert the normal text into some other form which cannot be understood by anyone else except the receiving person who is having the key, decryption key for that.
Right.
So that is ensuring the integrity that no one else in between is going to tamper the data. Like we receive the package or parcel from courier. So if it is if seal is proper, if there is no damage, so we can say that whatever is the or whatever is in there, it is safe or it is integrity maintained. Nobody knows that what is there inside except the sender and the receiver.
Receiver. Right.
So that is coming under this integrity, and we have to make sure we have to use certain tool to enhance and to uh, use this integrity. Okay. Now, last part is also very much important in cybersecurity, that is related to availability. So, what is availability? It says that whenever and wherever you want to access anything, it should be available. So, the thing is, whenever, like at any time. So let's say I want to access my email, so it should not happen that at any hour Gmail is down or any other mail service is down. Maybe our Outlook is not working proper. So that should
Okay.
not happen, because anytime 24 cross 7, anytime anybody can demand the data, and that time servers should be up and they should be available to serve the request. So that is what is the availability. So how do we ensure the availability? Let's say if any I'll take one example of medical supplies. So medical supplies are required, and most of the cases so we have to make sure that stock is proper, it is full every time. So that ensures the availability. So
Right.
similarly here also, we have to have the servers up and running. But there are some cyber security threats, some cyber security attacks, and some issues which may happen at any point of time, including the failure of the server. So all these issues should be tackling or should be complying to this availability. Even if there is any issue, but still user should be able to access, should have the access to the services. So that is maintained by one technique called as redundancy, right? So do you
Okay.
know this word redundancy?
No.
Redundancy starts with like alternate, alternatives.
Okay. Okay.
So whenever we try to do anything, we have to make sure that it's another copy is available. So if any server is down, let's say there is some attack called as DDoS attack, and the DDoS attack has happened, then it is required that another backup server should be there, which should immediately start up and running. So there are the companies like cloud storage is there. So AWS is a big player who is having the cloud services. So
Mm-hmm.
they have their multiple zones. They have the multiple copies of the same information, so that if one zone is down,
Uh,
immediately that can be served from another zone.
okay.
So that is called as backup. So
Okay.
backup is maintained by redundancy. Backup is actually for the data or the information, and redundancy is for the running services. So if anything happens, your one server is down, then it can be switched to served by another server. Similarly, in the network, if any node is down, it should be able to access the information via some other node, right? So
Right.
these are coming under availability. So this is our main goal in cybersecurity, that we must maintain CIA triad, and the all the professional certifications and everywhere the CIA triad, and how it is ensured, and 99.4 times 9, 8 times 9s, that should be the assured services. So that is what is coming under SLA, that is service layer architecture. So whoever is having the good one, then people are actually taking the services from there. So that's a CIA. I hope some part you have understood. We will
Yes.
keep understanding further parts as well.
Sure.
So
I
there
got.
is a field called as cryptography. So cryptography is actually the field which is must to ensure the integrity, and we know that cryptography can be used to hide the information and maintain the confidentiality of the information. So that is ensuring the integrity. So there are the techniques like encryption, then there is a technique like digital signature, then there is a technique like password protected data. So all these things are means if you want to access anything, maybe you have to provide some authentication by some authentication factor, MFA. So all these are called as the cryptography techniques, where we can use some ciphered some encryption or decryption keys, and through that code we can get the original data, which is meaningful and which is understandable.
Okay.
So whenever I try to say any communication between the nodes, so there should be a faithful exchange of information. Just the exchange of information doesn't satisfy the goal of the communication. If person A and person B are talking together, we have to make sure they are using the same language, they are using the same context. Then only they will understand their communication. So that is same thing is required here in the cybersecurity as well. Okay. Then going forward, there are a few more things which we need to understand and get to know, and these are the things from where we have to keep our assets safe. So, cyber security is the today's requirement, and in every firm, everywhere, there is a huge demand of cyber security, because there has to be like 99% of the companies nowadays are using digital uh, techniques to store their data, to transmit their data, or to access their data. And every time, whenever we do so, we have some threats, we have some attacks which may happen, and that should be tackled, that should be avoided by using cyber security. Even vehicle, or nowadays we are going up to the IoT devices like sensors. So what if any small sensors which are having something measuring or sensing something, maybe heartbeat or something, if this gets hacked, then what will happen? So there are some adversaries which are possible. So to avoid that, cyber security is to be enforced. So there are certain threats, certain attacks that we need to know. And nowadays, every single day, maximum means that threat is actually rising, and every time people have to be prepared, and firms or the individuals, everyone has to be secured via for from these threats, right? So
Mhm.
that is required. Like people are the one who is born immediately is given certain shots of vaccinations or something. So if you see that vaccinations are also increasing, so earlier we had 3 4 vaccines at a time we used to give together to a newborn. Now there are hexa, I think so, 6 different is required at initial only. So then there is a procedure. So this is a similar thing is in the computer world also, that the network is to be secured, and every day there are the new threats, there are the new attacks. So one has to get familiar with that. So there are certain bodies, certain organizations at international level who are keep publishing these attacks. They are continuously highlighting the issues related to cybersecurity, and there are the region-based, or there are country-wise bodies which are actually sending out lots of advisories, security advisories, and that should be followed by every form and individual who are under that purview. So all these things are required. So some common things which are there that is mentioned over here, and we need to make sure that we understand these names. Okay,
Okay.
because many times we are going to announce it. Okay, in our cybersecurity training. So what is threat and what is attack? Do you understand these words?
Yes.
So, can you highlight any difference between threat and attacks?
Okay.
What do you understand if I say threat, and what do you understand if I say attacks?
So phishing is like threat? No, I mean, is it like an attack? Because I see those phishing emails in my workspace also.
Yeah, okay, right.
Is it like attack?
Yes, phishing is an attack type.
Okay.
So,
Mm.
threat and attack. Threat is like harm. Okay,
Right.
so threat is like how vulnerable we are, or how
Okay.
vulnerable that particular firm is. So that depends upon how, what are the open points, open loopholes in that. So let's say if I talk about a factory where
Mm-hmm.
there is a single point of entry that is called main gate. Main gate is secured by guards, let's say,
Right.
but the fencing and the boundaries are not proper in the back side or other sides also. So
Okay.
that there is possibility that anybody can sneak in.
Attack. Yes. Okay.
So our threat area or threat surface is now more. And if we have very secure facility where boundaries are there, fencing is proper, and only one point of entry is there, which is also secured by guard. So we are actually reducing the threats, right? So
Mm-hmm.
threat is something which is the vulnerability, which is like weakness in our own system. And attack is something, regardless of your uh, uh, what we say. Um, Initiatives of taking care of threats, regardless of your preparedness, attack may happen, and it is possible that attack may be successful or unsuccessful. But attack is coming from the third party, so that is we sometimes name them as hacker also. So they
Okay.
are, there are different bodies which are actually trying these attacks. Sometimes our own firm is also doing this kind of drill, so they simulate the attacks just to
Okay.
check how secure they are,
Oh,
right?
okay. Okay.
So these are the few names. So I'll just go one by one, and they may, if they are not understood completely in one go, no problem. We are going to keep discussing these terms multiple times. So
Sure.
first is the malware. Do the data loss or something. So infiltrate in the system and can cause the harm. So these including viruses, worms, and ransomware. So these are the varieties of the malware. Malware
Okay.
is set of code. Sometimes it is hidden in the actual program, in the file which we download through internet. So let's say my computer is very secure. I have antivirus
That's right.
enabled, everything is okay, but still I'm trying to download a file, and let's say that file is not opening and asking for some special permission, and then I have given that.
Okay.
So sometime maybe some piece of code which is acting as a virus, worm, ransomware may get installed onto that computer, and then from that node it may infect another node, then spread forward. There are like nowadays uh, these kind of malwares are present in the games. So people are addicted to games. They try to play it on their console, on their cell phones.
Yes.
Maybe kids are more addicted to it. They are trying. So through kids device, it will go to the Wi-Fi, and from Wi-Fi it may go to the any potential family member whose account, if compromised, may give financial loss, or maybe some sensitive information may get leaked. So these malwares are very malicious softwares.
Okay.
Next thing is phishing. So phishings are like, just as the name suggests. So they are just giving you the bait, and if you take the bait, then information may be revealed to them, maybe some
Yes.
sensitive information. Let's say a simple bait in that hacker has got to know your password setting policy, because everyone has certain uh, or password setting uh, um, what we say pattern. So
Right.
people even at that website, your leaked password is not going to give benefit, but by using your style of using the password, maybe something at the rate your date of birth, something at the rate, something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that is now very much harmful, and they can try out the same pattern into another account. Maybe there, if you have if you are using the same thing, so individuals or firms, their information may get affected. So
Okay.
first of all, they are trying to send the deceptive email, which will very much similar to what is your organization's email ID, and it will look very same. But if you see it very closely, then you can find out the differences. So sometime, let's say if there is a email coming from my company, something info at the rate xyz.com. Now,
Okay.
in place of this, they will say info dot your company name xyz at the
Yes.
rate some other email.com. So,
Yes.
but but you have seen only that first two three letters, and our mind tend to believe that it is the same email from my company,
Company,
maybe
yes,
some lucrative email offers or something like that. So they are
yeah,
part of phishing.
yes,
So this is like a never ending. So there are a lot of technologies are developed to deal with this phishing.
right.
So as per the reporting, this phishing can be mitigated maximum time, but still out of 100%, 3-4% phishing is every day that is getting successful. Next
Yeah,
is the social engineering. So social engineering is now very much evolving, where individuals are manipulated, and uh, someone is trying to contact them, maybe as uh, a some kind of police officer or any
yes,
fed,
yes.
and then uh, they are
Asking
like
for the
they
information,
believe so, and then they give the confidential information,
right?
maybe their neighbors or anybody's information. If they are
Yes,
not giving their own, maybe somebody else's, and that
yes.
is compromise of the security itself.
Okay.
So social engineering is nowadays getting popular, where
Yes,
people are indirectly asking lot of questions, and meanwhile we may reveal what is my work background, what is my way of doing the job and all, and you may not be a target, maybe somebody else who is in the company or in the same firm. So
yes,
this is the new thing. Next thing is DDoS, that is denial of services, but the first D is for distributed. So earlier there used to be denial of service, means overwhelm the network or give so much of extra request onto the network that server gets busy, or maybe server is getting down. Like sometimes sale is there. So if any website is experiencing maximum traffic, that website will get slowed down. Sometimes
okay,
it may crash.
right.
So that is the goal of these kind of attacks. So DDoS attack is actually uh, happening every day on multiple servers throughout the uh, globe. So they are just putting like overwhelming the network, and if proper firewall is not there, if proper load balancer is not there, if proper mitigation technique is not implemented, then server will go down. Means it may not respond to actual query
Person.
when it is
Yeah,
given.
yeah.
So and it is
So it's
denying the
like
service.
targeting the busiest servers.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then actual person who actually wants that service or authentication is required, you have tried to log in somewhere, but because of the heavy
Slow,
response,
it's slow down. Okay.
yeah, OTP is not getting delivered to your phone, so
Yeah.
you are not able to complete a transaction. We are trying
Mhm.
multiple times, maybe 10-15 minutes are over, but still it is
Yeah.
not there. And then threat actor may send false wrong OTP, and then impatiently we are unable to identify that. So there are a lot of consequences also for this.
Okay. Okay.
Then next is the insider threats, that is very much dangerous, because individual from any organization can jeopardize the security from within. It may be a smaller one or bigger one, and that may lead to a lot of consequences. So insider threat is another issue. This can be mitigated through uh, like a proper audit or understanding, or maybe following the best security practices, so that no one is exempted, whether any C level executive or anyone, whoever is there has to have the iCard, has to have has to put the right password. No, no one should be allowed to go in any place without the ID card, not
Yes.
just by the identity.
Right.
So that is the way to mitigate the insider threats. And next thing is APT. So APT is a very famous groups. So worldwide, globally, there are a lot of groups who are active, and they
Mhm.
are actually a black hat hackers, and they are having the fundings from particular countries also. So there are a lot of countries from where it has been confirmed via various agencies and organizations that these groups are trying to hack another country's some data or doing something wrong, and
Okay.
they are backed by their own country, maybe some other uh, individuals who is supporting them. So these groups are called as APTs, Advanced Persistent Threats.
Okay.
And there are like till date, there are 44 different groups which are famous, which are known. So
Oh, okay.
there is APT 40 recently, I think 2 months before, they are China backed and they try to hack the uh, websites or some services of other country. So APT 41 is there, APT 43 is there, APT 44 is the latest one. So there are a lot of groups who are active. Some of them has been disabled, multiple members have been captured, but still it is evolving thing. So they are having very sophisticated adversaries aiming to infiltrate the systems, and even up to very renowned companies and geographically strong countries and all. So that is the um, uh, very problematic adversary threats and attacks. So that everyone has to be prepared for.
Okay.
So now let us talk about how exactly cybersecurity is going to offer the various career opportunities and what are the things. So there are plenty of job roles which are available, and some of them are mentioned here, like security analyst, ethical hacker, security engineer, inside incident responder, security consultant, auditors. So even auditor who is there in the cybersecurity, they should be knowing all the cybersecurity terms. Then only
Okay.
they will be able to conduct the actual audit.
Auditing,
And there
right.
is compliance officer who is continuously checking and assessing the situations whether best practices are followed or deployed. Maybe you are having certain service. So maybe if I take one example, in India, that there was a fitness app who
Uh-huh.
was collecting the data and doing very good analysis of everybody's sleeping pattern and other things. But the
Uh-huh.
problem was they were using the analytics which was on the server which was hosted into the California server. So
Okay.
because of that, that is actually violation of compliance, because as per GDPR, so GDPR is one rule which is set by European standard. So
Okay.
as per the GDPR, no individual's data should go PII data, personal identifiable identifiers, should not go beyond the country, should not be stored outside the country at least. So
Okay.
so that was the issue then, like faced a lot of consequences. So they have to shift everything into the India itself. So these are the various compliances which are
Okay.
required.
Okay.
So regulatory compliance is mandatory. Similarly, for insurance also, so government has developed a HIPAA called as HIPAA model. So whatever you store, you do in internet, make sure that complies the HIPAA model for all the medical and health related checkups, all the data. Similarly, there is a transaction related data where we do transactions uh, between the countries, maybe in the country, wherever, but that should comply the PCI DSS compliance. So there is payment gateway compliance, payment card interface. So all these things are there. So we'll go through some of them as we
Mhm.
proceed in our
Okay.
training. Next thing is like CISO. CISO is Chief Information Security Officer, who is responsible for any organization's complete cyber security. And CISO is having the team under them, maybe various team. There may be different kind of teams. There is a team who is assessing the security issues. There is a team who is assessing the compliance issues. Some are assessing they are actually acting as a attacker to their own organization and trying to generate the report that what is
Oh,
our threat surface. So
oh,
a lot of things are there. So but um it see, in cybersecurity, understanding is very much required, concepts are required, and along with that you should have some certifications, and those
okay.
certifications will help to uh, take up any job. And then the experience that you get in the job, then that matters, that
Okay.
how which what have you done, and which domain or which particular part of the cybersecurity you handled, and accordingly you can go ahead in the further career opportunities. And sometimes knowledge of cybersecurity is actually also going in the cross field. So sometimes the one who is a very good security analyst is actually becoming a very good security consultant further, because they have done complete analysis, they know how things work, and now they offer their consulting services. They extend that understanding to other organizations. So there are a lot of possibilities. Okay,
Okay.
but
Okay.
all these are requiring certain level of uh, cybersecurity
Cybersecurity knowledge.
understanding and certifications and the experience.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So safeguarding the digital things, all these are necessary. So there are plenty of cyber threats, as we know. Few of them are mentioned, which is not explained, but I will provide you all a comprehensive list where
Mm-hmm.
we'll have every threat name, then description of the same, and one example in each, so that you can relate that which
Okay.
kind of attack or threat is that. Because if
Sure.
you are trying to crack any interview or
Mm-hmm.
technical round, then they will be asking these kind of questions. So
Okay.
how are you going to mitigate this? So there is two different term. One is called as mitigation and another is called as remediation. So can we discuss these two definitions? Do you know what are the?
No.
So mitigation is something that is used when anything is happening at that instant. So that is called as mitigation. Okay, let's
Okay.
say any data theft is ongoing or your computer is getting hacked. So
Uh-huh.
what should be done? So that is called as mitigation. Maybe you will cut down the network cable. You can plug out the network cable, or maybe you can
Turn off the Wi-Fi.
turn off the Wi-Fi, turn down that computer, or
Okay.
so something like that. So that
Right.
will avoid at the issues at that time. Okay, so
Right.
that's called as mitigation. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
immediate remedy, whatever you are doing, is referred as mitigation. But
Okay.
the term remediation is actually the safeguarding mechanism that we may not keep our Wi-Fi continuously off for many number of days. So
Right. Right.
we are going to turn it on sometime.
Right.
So we have to make sure that this time if we turn on, nothing bad should happen. So for
Okay.
that particular thing, what steps are we taking? Are we changing our password security? Are we strengthening that? Are we using any MAC-based filtering in the Wi-Fi router, so that only if even if password is cracked, but only respect to MAC ID devices are connected to that. So there are
Okay.
different
Okay.
ways by which we can restrict that.
Okay.
So
Like long-term solution.
yeah, so that long-term solution is called as remedy now. Okay.
Remediation. Okay. Got it.
So for every threat and for every cyber attacks, we have these two things in place, and there has to be a run book for this.
Okay.
A procedural document has to be there that at the time of this, what should be our steps, what should be our approach. So
Okay.
like we have the in our organizations, we have a particular person who is flagged with the ERT flag, this emergency response team. So if anything has happened, then those people are trained that what should be the first step to be taken.
Right.
Similarly, there should be the documentation, which should suggest that in case of this kind of threat, what should be our first action. So that is what is there. So these are the different names, and you have to go through these names. You have to be a bit curious about understanding how do they work, what is their way of doing it, and if you are seeking any job in any any industry or any area, then it is possible that all the type of threats may not be applicable there. Only few will be applicable. So
Yes.
your entire experience will then convert into that area only. You will be only knowing those tools. You will be only knowing those things. But understanding of overall threats and attacks is required even at that time.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the different way career or the aspects of the cybersecurity, and they decide that means there are ways by which we can get into these fields. Understand taking up the cybersecurity training is very first one of that. So how to develop a cybersecurity plan? Okay, so
Mhm.
these are the certain procedures or immediate things that is already mentioned. Okay, so. Uh, identify the asset threat, and how do we prioritize the asset risk and threat. Okay, so there are some list of questionnaires that should be answered properly and honestly. So they are called as checklist. So whenever we perform anything, we have to develop a checklist. We have to
Mm.
make a checklist,
Yeah.
and the rest we have to check everything against that checklist. If that checklist of, let's say, 100 item is having at least 70 to 80% of checklist done, then we can say we have strengthened the security, cyber
Right.
security.
Right.
So these things are helping us to developing a cyber security plan, then documenting the policies, linking goals to the business objective, very much essential. And sixth thing is testing for the vulnerability. So if you want to test for vulnerability, that is the weakness. So vulnerability, then we have threats, then we have attacks. Vulnerabilities are the weakness which is automatically developed because of the kind of business, kind of firm, kind of operating procedures. So let's say a particular firm is actually trying to uh, bring their supplies via, let's say,
Third
road,
party.
yeah, miss physical deliverables. Let's say
Okay.
they are doing logistics via road only. So
Okay.
whatever, so what is their vulnerability? So vulnerability may be anything which is related to road. So
Yeah.
any road issues will be there. Similarly, in the
Yeah.
cyber field, if any data is there, but let's say there is communication going on, but they are not encrypting the data. They are just sending it on the plain email exchange.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That is one kind of vulnerability. Sometimes there are certain vulnerabilities which we need to address, but
Yeah.
our the particular firm or individual does not bother to address that. Why? Because
Okay.
sometimes it is there that the remediation of that vulnerability is actually much more costlier than the cost of data. So
Okay.
if the cost of data is much more less than the vulnerability
It's not
remediation,
worth it.
it is not worth, right?
Okay.
So that
Okay.
is to be avoided. So there
Okay.
are, like, these are the assessment kind of thing. Then CISO will take the particular step. Then it will be
Okay.
presented to the higher management. If the
Okay.
management is agree upon taking this vulnerability addressing, then it is good
Okay.
enough.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah. So these are
Okay.
the things related to developing a cyber plan. Every
Okay.
company is having their own set of approach, but these points are same, almost same. First, second, third, 4, 5, and 6. So these are the like things. Sometimes they ask, do you know how to develop a cyber plan? How
Okay.
or how any particular thing is developed? How do we document the thing? So these are the key points that we can say at the time of interview. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the last slide for today. That
Okay.
uh, how do we prevent the cyber attacks? So
Okay.
definitely we should have a plan. We should
Right.
have a run book. We should have a proper guide material tool. So these are the 5 security best practice cyber securities which is to be done. What is that? Very first thing is you have to be frequent and periodic in your data backups, because we don't know at what time our data is compromised or ransomware may arise. Do you know what the ransomware is?
No.
Okay.
Is it like a
Have
virus?
you heard of this ransomware?
Yeah, I have seen that in the previous slides.
Okay. So other than today's session, have you heard of this word ransomware?
No. No.
Okay. So ransomware is nothing but a kind of malware software. So it is
Oh,
a malware which is a, piece of code which comes in our computer, and then it encrypts our entire data.
okay.
Our data will be at in our data storage device only, but we
Okay.
are not able to read that. Let's say you have lot of files, but you are not able to open the file. All the files are password protected.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. So it is of no use now.
Yeah. So it's already compromised.
It is compromised, your data is not with others, but it is logged.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
it is logged, so no one
Okay.
else is able to this. So few years back it has appeared, and they have encrypted certain servers of the Microsoft, and that was the first time ransomware has started. They
Okay.
demanded a lot of money. not in term in the dollar. They have very first time demanded the ransom money in the form of cryptocurrency. That was Bitcoin. So
Oh,
since then, this term has evolved cryptocurrency, and a lot of attention has gone to Bitcoin.
digital currency. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So later, Microsoft said we will not negotiate, and then I don't know how they try to tackle maybe, but at least for 3 months they were not able to access their data.
Oh, okay.
So how do you mitigate this? So this is the very first step that you should take. You should
Oh,
keep the you should take the frequent and periodic data backups. Let's say my this copy of backup is encrypted. Now there is no way of reversing it back.
okay. Yeah.
So at least we can have 3 days older data
Right.
backup. We can use
Right.
that. Let's say
Right.
3 days data is lost now. But
Okay.
prior to 3 days, we have another copy which is stored somewhere else, which is not encrypted.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that is why data backups are important and they should be proper at some frequent rate. What is the
Right.
challenge here? It needs certain
Not
manpower,
to miss. Yeah.
some
Not.
tools are required, and storage is extra. Every
Yes.
time you have to, if nothing is happened, then you will feel that it is just wasting our
Wasted. Yeah.
budget on something like that. It is
Yes.
like taking up term insurance. If nothing
Right.
happens, so but you have to keep paying it, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So second thing is about multi-factor authentication. In short, we term this as MFA.
MFA.
MFA
Okay.
is password means a two-step, three-step verification process.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So let's say you have done the login, but you have to use your fingerprint to attach that. Maybe 6-digit OTP you have to put in. Maybe
Right.
TTOP you have to put in. So all
Right.
these things are coming under multi-factor authentication. This
Yes.
ensures what? This ensures user identity,
Yes.
and that is why it is very much helpful in confidentiality, that the
Right.
right person is accessing this information.
Yes. Yes.
Then third one is what? Awareness. So you have to aware everyone. See, cyber security is very vast, and when we
Mm,
get into it, you will feel sometimes we overwhelmed with that what there are lot of surface area. What is to be done? Like if a bank is there and if it is trying to prevent the robbery,
mm-hmm.
so bank has to think of all the possibility,
Yes.
and then they will realize that there is lot of things. What are the things that we are able to cover? That like they that is overwhelming.
Yes.
So that time we have to aware the employees. At least some common practices everyone should be knowing. So that is
Yes.
what is called as educating the employees about the cyber attacks. They
Yeah.
should know that what phishing is, how is it done, and some
Yeah.
drill has to be conducted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then fourth one is what? Encourage or
Man.
enforce the
Okay.
proper password hygiene. You
Okay.
have like few email providers are keeping it like minimum 8-digit password has to be there.
Mm.
Minimum this much has to be there because maximum number of times we have seen in any
Yes.
adversaries, password
Yes.
is the very first thing which gets compromised.
Yeah. True.
People are so lazy because they don't want to burden themselves because of their work style. They have lot of time, they have to log in. So what they do
Mm.
is they use very simple password. Maybe
Right.
they use the browser to remember the password. And if that
Mm.
browser gets compromised, then your password has gone.
Okay. We do
So
save
because of
password. Yeah.
yeah, so because of these practices,
Okay.
there is lot of challenge developing. So password hygiene has lot of like things, and
It
everybody
plays
should be
important role.
right.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
thing is required. And next
Oh,
is the use third-party services like using any encryption software.
okay.
So whatever you do is every time encrypted, and every time it is whenever see encryption is actually having two different places. Your
Uh-huh.
data may be stored somewhere, right? So
Okay.
that is called as data at rest. And
Okay.
whenever data is sent from one place to another, that is called as data in transit.
Right.
So you have to secure both. Even if
Mm.
your data is at rest, then also it should be encrypted. Even if
Right.
data is transit, then also should be encrypted.
Right.
100% of time, whenever data is sent, it is encrypted by default because of the maximum time we are using browsers or maybe some software to send and receive, like WhatsApp or any other.
Mm.
So they are encrypted while in transit. But once they are delivered or stored there, then it is job of that device or that owner to encrypt that storage. Maximum number of times this thing is not done
Okay.
because encryption is very lengthy process, or it may delay, it may create latency. Sometime if you want the service, it will first decrypt, then we'll give you the service. So it is
Yeah.
delayed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there some challenges are also there. If you try to secure your home via 10 different locks, then while
Yeah.
going and entering, you have to do
Yeah.
that much
Next
of
time.
work also. So it will take the time. So these are the certain best practices which everyone should follow. So every firm is having this kind of practice, and uh, one has to use the proper setup for that, right?
Okay. Okay.
So next we'll be starting. Actually, things will start from here. That is network security. That is our first part of cybersecurity. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll take it later
Okay.
and in the tomorrow's class.
Okay.
So today we understood what is CIA
Yes.
triad, and
Yes.
then what are the different threats and attackers, then what is career opportunities, then how to identify, how to develop a document, and then we got to know what are the best practices which should
Best
be
practices.
followed.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so these are the things related to cybersecurity. This has just started the cybersecurity, and going forward, we have to later understand certain tools. How do they work? Which are the best tools? Some tools are paid, some tools are open source. Which one
Mm-hmm.
is to be used, and which one is there in the industry, and which
Mm-hmm.
one give us, which is going to give us better opportunities. All these things we have to and get understand. Okay,
Okay. Okay. Sure. So,
so
do you provide this recording link in the group,
yeah,
WhatsApp group?
yes, yes.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
So I'm going to provide this all these things, and meanwhile, if any any doubts